Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest on the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, so today I have Shane Collins on the line, and he's head of production over at Forced Perspective. This interview is part of our AFM series where we bring you the best of AFM 2025, which took place in Century City or Los Angeles, the American film market, and we have bringing on all kinds of individuals that were there. It's been a lot of fun so far for those of you that have been following the series. And this guest, as I mentioned, Shane, welcome to the show.
Thanks. It's great to be here.
All right, Shane. So we got a lot to talk about today. Of course, I want to get into what you're doing at Forced Perspective and see how the conference went. So let's just dive right in. AFM, have you been in the past? This is the first year. Give us a little bit of the background on this for you.
Yeah. So I didn't go last year. This is my second year. So I went 2 years before and then this year.
So how did you? That's good. So the crowd. I didn't go a couple years ago when you mentioned you went. How was it for you this year? I was there this year. It was a madhouse. There was a lot of people there. How did it go for you?
Yeah, it was pretty frothy this year. We had a great.
It was frothy. That's great. Go ahead.
Yeah, we had a really good AFM for Forced Perspective. You know, it's really what you make of it as a festival. So it's, I know people that did some great deals. I know some people that weren't so happy, but we had a really good time.
Did you? I mean, were you out there looking to make a deal? Tell me what brought Forced Perspective to the market.
So Forced Perspective right now, our background, we were a production service company for a while. So we were the company that a producer would hire to physically make their project. So you have producers that bring in money that don't necessarily do physical production. They don't actually make boots on the ground make it. That's what our company did as a production services company. So we've only recently, this year, started raising for our own films. So we went to AFM this year. In the past, we've just kind of been there as a vendor to try and get clients to hire us to make their thing. But this was the first year we were going to actually sell.
What was that like? That's a different set of boots you had on that one. What was that like?
Yeah, I mean, it was really, the thing about AFM is it's almost impossible to get meetings during AFM while you're there. So much of AFM and working that festival was in advance of the festival. It's a lot of these distributors or sales agents, they're not like hanging around at the bar trying to have people come up to them. Exactly. Their schedules are already packed. Their tables, or the actual sales agents have tables and bigger distributors have actual hotel rooms in the hotel. And you work them in the weeks before the festival to go there. We had 6 meetings that had already been set up, and then have those meetings. And it's just kind of like a way to have all those meetings at once. In going in with that, we have a slate of 7 features. 4 of them look like they've got deals on the table for U.S. theatrical through AFM. And then we have a follow-up with a company who it was our first time meeting them at AFM. So they got their intro to us during that meeting. And then now they're considering this stuff, and we're hoping that at this follow-up meeting next week that they'll be able to take 2 of our other films. And hopefully by the end of this, we'll have 6 of the 7 films we were there with theatrical distribution.
How did you originally get into the business? Where'd that start for you?
Oh, funnily enough, I actually got in as a cinematographer. I was a union cinematographer for years, and I started the very beginning in New York as a production assistant, worked my way up through camera department, moved out to LA, kept shooting, and then I really started producing in 2016, stopped DPing and moved into producing from cinematography full-time in 2019, and that's just been a trip ever since. So I've just kind of gone like a meandering path. I would say it's relatively rare to find a producer that was on the crew side.
That's awesome. I like it. I could see where just your level of experience on both sides. Like when it comes to getting one of these films done, it's not to be underestimated. I'm sure you're the glue on many things, I can tell.
It's funny because, one of the things we pride ourselves at Force Perspective is to use a tech term, we're a full stack production company, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we're vertically integrated in that we develop in-house, we do physical in-house. So we do casting in-house, we do packaging in-house. A lot of times, especially in the indie film space, you end up with these films that you go see an indie film at a theater and there's 6 production companies on the front of it. And that's because, right, like one brought in the financing, one brought in the lead actor, one brought in the other lead actor, one brought in the physical production, one brought in the distribution, right? Like you've got all these pieces where they're all contributing, but it's all very splintered, where because our background was production services for so long, we have such deep connections to that part of it. My partner in the company, she's an Emmy-winning casting director, so packaging with talent and access to talent is not an issue for us. So it's just one of those things where compared to a lot of indie production companies, we have a lot more width and reach versus just like a small vertical we stay with.
Can you talk a little bit about, you mentioned something earlier that I found interesting. I believe you said this is the first year that you were going there to raise for yourself and you're kind of moving from just the completion of films for other producers and then starting to produce your own. Like what kind of sparked that shift? I'm curious. It's an interesting move.
Yeah, the thing with production services is you don't have any ownership, right?
Yeah.
So like the big thing we're known for the biggest project we did as a production services company is we did the LA unit for season 1 of Percy Jackson and the Olympians for Disney Plus. So huge show, right? But if you go and you look in those credits, Force Perspective doesn't have a production company name on the front of that. We get Shane Collins personally gets a credit, right? Hidden all down there as a production services producer. But that's it. So you do a lot of the physical work and you don't get any recognition. You don't get no profit participation, really any of that. So that's kind of what came out of the catalyst for us going ahead and moving forward with raising for this slate of features.
And looking at this slate of features, and I'm sure each one has its own backstory to it, but how do you go about like choosing what you want to work on?
It's a lot of it is just looking at the market. What do we think will do? The hardest part of filmmaking and doing what we do is you're not just saying, hey, would this be something that's going to pop or do well now? You're saying, will this do well 2 years from now? Right? Because it's a very time-consuming process. It's rare that this stuff moves fast. So most likely a lot of the stuff we're doing now, it won't be in a theater or on Netflix or, wherever it ends up till maybe 2 years from now. So that's a lot of what you're kind of guessing here. And so we're looking at, okay, what's doing well from a trend perspective? What do we like, as filmmakers? And what haven't we seen before? We don't have a heavy reliance on IP. We make movies in the 5 to 20 million space, so they're not tiny. You have some people doing $1 million or sub-million features, but they're not huge. They're not studio movies. So it's something where what our company mandate is, it's a Black-owned, female-owned company that exists to give opportunities to underrepresented creatives. While we work with filmmakers who are from underrepresented backgrounds, we're genre agnostic in the projects we make. So, the people behind it are more important to us in that way. Yeah. And then from that, we're just looking for what are great stories that these people have. That's worked out really well for us. Where we are with our raise with investors, and then separately where we are on the distribution side, we think it's done really well, and we're filling a niche hole in the market that needs to be filled.
Yeah. That's great. So Shane, we're in November 2025, heading into, we'll blink and it'll be 2026. What's next? What's next for you? What's next for Forced Perspective?
Well, we go into production with this slate next year.
That's exciting, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, it's been nuts. We're closing in on our completing the 50 million raise that we've been doing for these 7 features. And I can't talk too much about specific features, but I can say our first one goes into production in February.
Amazing. Shane, if people want to follow up, learn more, continue to follow the journey, Forced Perspective of you, how do they do that?
You can always go to forcedperspective.tv. That's our official website. Instagram handle is also forcedperspective.tv. Me personally, you can follow me on Instagram, Shaney, but like SHAN 3Y, 3 instead of an E.
Fantastic. For everybody listening, just so you know, we'll definitely put some links in the show notes so that you can just click on the link, head right on over and connect. And speaking of the audience, if this is your first time with Mission Matters and you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe or follow button. This is a daily show. Each and every day we're bringing you new content, new ideas, and hopefully new inspiration to help you along the way on your journey as well. So again, hit that subscribe or follow button. And Shane, man, appreciate you coming on, and best of luck in 2026, man. You're going to be busy. Thanks again.
Awesome. Thank you, Adam.